Coming up right now, a mom is shocked by a restaurant's policy when a surcharge for her kids is added to the bill.
Also coming up, you will not believe what took up residence in one woman's ear and what it was doing.
And a little bit later on, actress Goldie Hawn reveals an out-of-this-world connection, and it's actually not a first for her. We're going to explain.
Daily Flash starts right now.
Get ready for trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. The fun starts right now. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I am Mitch English, welcoming you to Daily Flash. We're so excited to have you here for this Friday, but we also have some big announcements. We want to say hello to our newest member of the Daily Flash family. It's WJAL in Washington, D.C. Hello, and welcome to the big show, Daily Flash. We're going to have lots of fun with y'all there in our nation's capital. We'll also be joined by Matt Doolittle. Matt Doolittle sitting here. Matty, what's the color of the day today? Is it blue?
Azure.
Azure?
It's this one right here.
Is that one? Oh,
Azure.
I would have said blue.
I would have too.
Azure. So you're kind of Azure.
I'm Azure
I like
too.
that.
So are you, kind of, underneath the
A
sweater?
little bit, yeah.
You know, we love to talk about tipping on the show. We've got a story coming up. But there's more tipping outrage in New York City. Olive Garden is now adding a mandatory 18% gratuity to your dining bill, regardless of the size of your party.
Oh, really? And what's the reason behind that? Just
because everybody else is doing it.
Breadsticks are expensive, Mitch. Breadsticks are expensive.
Olives are very expensive, by the way.
And the garden is really tough to keep up, too.
So I wonder how waiters and waitresses, or wait staff actually, feel about this because, okay, if I go, well, 18%, well, all right, well, that's all you're getting. And I'd normally do 20% just because I can't do math very well. And then I round up to make it even easier.
But you notice how at the bottom of checks nowadays, they don't give you 15% anymore. They give you 18, 20, 25, in some cases 30%. And 18% is kind of going by the wayside.
You're right.
So, I mean, I think if you want to offer 15%, you should be able, because 15 to 20% was always the standard. But nowadays, when you look at these tipping options, you're sort of stuck either saying no or enter your own amount, or they're forcing you to maybe leave a 30% tip. And
we also talk about how like big corporations are wanting you to donate money. We got a story actually coming up about Walmart, how they're getting rid of those things, and it'll pop up there when you check out. Would you like to donate money to the World Fund? And I'm like, I don't know what that is. You're a $1 billion company. Why
I could be sending $2 to a group that might be doing some terrible things that I don't know about.
That at all. If it's for veterans and it says round up, I'm like, all right, that's easier because then, but is
it really going to veterans?
And then you want to know. If it's a reputable thing, if they just say it's going to veterans and you don't know what organization, then don't.
I just finished watching Telemarketers and they go into all of that.
Yes.
About that whole thing. 10% goes to the police fund or whatever.
Always investigate who you're going to donate money to, about how much goes for operational or process management of the time. Because it'll surprise you. We talk now more about being charged at dinner. A family was charged a $50 fee on their restaurant bill because what the restaurant said, their children were being loud and obnoxious. The family from Florida, they were in Georgia visiting friends and were joined by 4 other families for a bite to eat. When mom saw the eatery's adult surcharge warning on the menu, she thought, well, it's a joke, right? The large group enjoyed their meal, and Lindsay claimed all the kids, they ranged from about 3 years old to 8 years old, were being so good.
They were.
Let's stay on this. The kids got a slingshot. I want that to remind everybody.
Dennis the Menace.
He looks like Dennis the Menace. All right. I'm sure they're great kids.
Angels.
At one point, the restaurant owner actually came to the table and explained that there would be a $50 charge because their kids were being too loud and running around out of control. Mom says no, they were being so good. Having 4 kids and 3 of them being rambunctious boys, I totally get that. And there is a thing that parents do that they can tune out their own kids, and they forget about it, and everybody else, we're the victims of it and that sort of thing. And they were probably being 3 to 8 year old kids. Of course. And I get that. But the running around, when you have that many and you're with friends, it's hard to keep your eye on them.
You got a dozen kids at a restaurant, and kids' attention lasts for about 5 minutes at a dinner table at a restaurant. So I can imagine they were outdoors, would look like kind of a woodsy area. I would imagine they're out of control running around. And the restaurant owner came over and said, look, the reason I do this is because some families belong at Burger King, and maybe that's where your kids belong, but not at my restaurant.
So we'd love to know how you feel about this. This would be a great time for you to email us, flash@dailyflashshow.com, or just go to our social media sites, any of them, and just say, hey, want to sound off about this? We'll share your thoughts later.
A woman in Taiwan was having trouble sleeping because she kept hearing these odd clicking, rustling, and beating sounds inside of her ear. She finally went to the doctor after suffering from insomnia for several days. When doctors got a good look inside of her ear, they discovered a live spider crawling around her ear canal along with its skeleton. According to Cornell University, spiders shed their skin when they grow, meaning the spider grew larger after crawling around inside of her ear and could have been there for months. Thankfully, her eardrum was not damaged. Once the spider and his extra layer of skin was removed, the clicking sounds immediately stopped.
You got to do that, and you know, they always say spiders, you know, sometime in your life you'll have 7 spiders inside you or whatever. I don't care. Anything in my ear, first off, I'm gonna freak out, and I'm gonna put pouring stuff down there. And mosquitoes are the worst because they go right by your ear and make that noise. That I would freak out, man. It
100%.
would freak me out. Actress Goldie Hawn recently shared with us a detailed, bizarre alien encounter she said she had several years ago. She's 77 years old now. She's an Oscar winner. And she claims that an alien once touched her face, and it felt like the finger of God. Hawn said once the bizarre exchange ended, she felt like she was bursting out of a force field. She said the creature had a triangle-shaped head, no ears, and a slash for a mouth. She was about 20 years old at the time, working as a dancer near the desert when she fell asleep in her friend's car. This makes complete sense. Goldie described a high-pitched ringing sound before the creatures appeared. Hawn also described a follow-up experience in England where she had a strange dream about lights, and then the next day she and a friend found a crop circle in the shape of a heart.
Of course they did.
Now, her spouse, actor Kurt Russell, told the BBC during an interview a few years back that he was the pilot who called in the mysterious Phoenix lights back in 1997. So he feels that there's other extraterrestrials as well. I want to remind everybody, when she was 20, she's 77 now. This is the 60s. Pharmaceuticals were out there, man.
They were.
They're out there a lot, and I have no doubt that that's what she saw.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
We all agree with that?
Yes, of course.
I've been in that state where I felt like I got touched by an alien, too. So, you know.
Being a dancer out in the desert in 1977?
Right. It makes complete
I'm surprised all she saw was an alien.
Right. So think about that. But, you know, and a lot of experts will say is that your mind, in your mind, you really did do that. Because you felt it, you sensed it, and all your senses were brought in. So you felt it. Did it really happen? Probably not, because our imagination, we know nothing about our brain so far.
Or are the two of them angling for some sort of UFO show?
Oh, that's right. Hook them up with Dan Aykroyd, because they will make a great show. Dan Aykroyd does these great shows about science fiction stuff. You should check it out. Here's a question for you. Given the chance, would you take $500,000?
Yes.
Okay. Segment's over.
No need to go on.
All right, given the choice, would you take $500,000 or have lunch with Jay-Z? The rap icon recently discussed the viral question with CBS's Gayle King after he settled down the debate with some solid business advice. This is what he said.
Which would you choose?
You gotta take the money. What I'm gonna say? Yeah, I mean everything that I'm gonna say.
No, only because people say, of course you take lunch with Jay-Z because the wisdom that you would get from him would be so beneficial to you. There would only be a matter. You would take the money.
Yeah, because you got all that in the music for $10.99. That's a bad deal. I wouldn't tell you to cut a bad deal. Like
I don't
take
know.
the $500,000, go buy some albums and listen to the albums. It's all there. If you piece it together and really listen to the music for the words for what it is, it's all there.
The 53-year-old rapper, full of knowledge there, but would you listen to him or take the money? Here's the question. I think Matt already said $500,000 right there. What would you do?
Oh, I'd take the money.
I mean, anybody clap if you would rather have lunch with Jay-Z instead of $500,000. Okay, one clap.
One clap.
Is there anybody you would have a lunch with?
Letterman, David Letterman. I would, to me, 100%, $500,000.
And forego $500,000?
100%.
Really?
And I would have to, and he'd have to be, because they say you should never meet your heroes. But he would have to be in the right mood and everything, okay?
Yes.
And I would tell him that. So listen, I'm giving up $500,000. I just want to talk to you, all right?
And how long? What's the window?
I would say a good
2 hours?
evening. 2 hours an evening.
Okay.
That's $500,000.
Yeah, 3. I thought 3.
Matter of fact, he spoke to Letterman at one time.
Yeah, that's right.
And he told Letterman, he goes, today's rappers, they didn't really live the life that they lived. And then he asked him, he goes, well, did you? And he's like, well, yeah, I did. I did when I first started out. But they really
put on a show.
Put on a show for more what they did. All right. We have more Daily Flash coming on. You're putting on a show, Maddie. You're talking about, what are you talking about in Doing It?
Doing It, we are talking about Disney adults and how they're not acting properly these days.
All right. And we're also going to be heading to Walmart anyways, talking about those checkouts. Are they here to stay? We'll answer that question right after. Welcome back to Daily Flash. I am Mitch English. There's some controversy over those self-checkout lanes you see at places like Walmart. And customers are getting pretty fed up about it. Here to talk more is Insider's senior reporter, Dominic Reuter, who joins us now. Dominic, this is actually a thing. You've seen it, I've seen it. I remember when the self-service checkout things was kind of cool, and people are like, oh, this is how they can save money on hiring people because people can go through there. But there's some complaints because everybody now, they kind of feel like they're a thief somewhat, right? Are there some other common complaints that Walmart shoppers specifically are saying about when they're using the store's checkout system?
So thanks for having me, Mitch.
Absolutely.
Well, the story comes down to Walmart obviously has 4,000 something stores in America, and a lot of those they need to staff with self-checkout. And so they've invested a lot of money in building up and beefing up their what they call anti-shrink or anti-shoplifting technology to go and help make sure that everything that's in your cart and in your bags is something that you paid for. And so as a result of that sort of development of that technology, there's some things that work and there's some things that sometimes maybe don't work so well.
And some of those things is, as we said, it was supposed to cut down on theft, but has it actually worked?
Walmart won't tell you directly whether or not it's specifically working because that's part of their security intel. But what it does do, and that I heard from in writing about this was, I wrote about the tech sort of causing sort of weird issues for employees. And then we got a bunch of feedback about shoppers who they've been pinged and they've been, called out and felt like they've been treated like criminals as a result of doing things sort of the honest way, a false positive in sort of in the parlance of triggers and alerts and so forth. So, they're getting flagged for something that they're doing in sort of an honest best effort. And so what it's really catching, in a lot of cases are people that mean well. I can't comment really to how much it's catching people that are not meaning to do well. It very well might, but the ones who speak up about, hey, I got flagged, aren't the ones who are the ones who are speaking up about it aren't the ones who are trying to do something wrong.
Well, let me ask you about Walmart's. What did you learn? Is it their checkout system? How does it compare to the other chains? Is there that technology that vastly different?
I don't know how vastly different it is, but it is very customized, right? So like a lot of them are going to have very similar features. I think if you go to Target or Walmart or any large box store, you're going to see similar things. Walmart just is by and large so much bigger than they've got twice as many locations as Target, which would be the next most in the country. So they really have rounded out and refined their product that they've used. And they use some common threads. I haven't really gone line by line through them to test the differences because really it's just been in the last couple of weeks that this has emerged to me as a thing. Even though the technology has been here for a long time, the curiosity is fairly recent as far as my writing on it.
Well, are there some things down the road that maybe they're going to enhance this, or some things maybe we can be looking out for? Maybe not even at Walmart, but maybe the world altogether. I know AI is such a big thing right now.
Yeah, so there's a lot of visual recognition of products, and continually refining the thing. This is a high tech, high level of computation and interpretation and sensors and visual information that they're interpreting here. So the short answer is yes. A lot of this stuff is going to get more refined and more clean. There, Target actually, Walmart again, just unveiled a remodeling of some hundreds of stores that they've just done to the tune of like $9 billion, and they're trying to make it easier for you to use your phone to buy things and then walk out, and you show a scanner. So there's going to be a continuing sort of evolution and a long tail of this. And then there's even cases where, like in New Mexico, they actually pulled out self checkout because it wasn't really serving their market very well, and so they're using registers now and check lanes with employees again.
And there's no word.
And I think the one thing that I keep.
There's no, I got to wrap things up here, but no word they're going to use retired robots to greet you when you walk in, right? We can't confirm that, right?
I think Sam Walton would really be rolling in his grave if that was the other case, but yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you so much, Dominic. Of course, this sounds like a very intriguing story, and if you want to find out more information, you can find it out on insider.com. Dominic Arruda, thank you so much for joining us.
Mitch, can I share a story
Certainly,
with you about Walmart? So we'll get to entertainment news in a second, but I had to go to Walmart yesterday, and I rarely go there. But I know it was rough. But I was trying to buy a gift card online for my mom, and it ended up getting canceled twice. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in the store. I'm going to try and buy it in the store. I go in the store to try and buy it. It gets canceled there as well. And the girl tells me, oh, you can only buy with cash or a debit card.
I understand.
That's the new thing now.
Because there's a big problem with that, with theft, right?
With that. And then I went to CVS just to buy a generic Visa card. I had to sign all sorts of forms. They took a picture of my driver's license. I'm like, I'm never buying another gift card again.
Well,
this is nuts.
At Christmas time, everybody complains about gift cards. So maybe we might see this kind of being pushed away, and people actually have to buy gifts.
I felt like a criminal. I was like, are you taking my mugshot next? Anyway, all right, let's talk entertainment. Justin Timberlake has turned off comments on his Instagram page after the release of the Britney Spears new tell-all. In Britney's new memoir, The Woman in Me, she reveals in the book that she was pregnant with Justin's baby when they were both around 19 years old. Justin didn't want to be a father at such a young age, and they both decided it wasn't the right time. While Timberlake has not come forward to make a public statement regarding Britney's version of the events, he did turn off comments on his social media pages.
Smart.
As you can imagine, they were not pleasant. The two dated for 3 years between 1999 and 2002.
All right. Of course, he's actually popped in the news because he and NSYNC reunited for Trolls. So more and more people, which is ironic, don't you think?
Because he's getting trolled?
He's getting trolled, right?
Yes.
So think about that, how the world and universe works.
It comes full circle.
It is full circle with them, all right? We've got more Flash coming up right around the corner when we find out what's happened with Relationship Refresh. Plus, we're going to be doing it with Matt Doolittle. Trust me, you're going to like it. All that's up next. Stick around.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the happiest segment on earth, Doing It with yours truly, Matt Doolittle. For this week's edition of Doing It, this week we're doing it at Disney adult style, but not in a good way. As many of you know, I am a huge Disney adult, and my fiance is a Disney adult as well. We don't have kids yet, but when we do, they are going to be proper Mouseketeers.
Aww,
we like to enjoy a day at the parks, the meals, the sights, the sounds, and the expensive merchandise. And the reason we do it all is because it's safe, it's clean. Food tastes good, the drinks are just as good. Sadly, recently though, we've seen some incidents like we spoke about last week at Disney like this. Yes, a family fighting at Disneyland in California involving children, strollers, a fake whale in the background, all the things magic of Fantasyland can offer. Then just this past week, this video of folks getting in a fight outside of the Magic Kingdom at Disney World in Florida broke out as well. Oh, come on. The entire family having a fight right in front of the gates at the Magic Kingdom with the fireworks in the background. I wish I could share the audio, but nope, it gets pretty nasty. Look, I get it. You spend a lot of money. You're frustrated. It's hot. You take a bunch of people you don't like to a place you might not like to do a bunch of kids stuff. But you know what? You really should just relax. Chill. Hit one of the pools. Oh, wait, not like these folks. No, not like that. No, you shouldn't shame your daughter's cheer squad by getting so tanked at Epcot by jumping in the fountain in France at Epcot to enjoy a proper Grand Marnier orange slush in the fountain. That entire family was banned for life. Or even like this kid who, on a bet of $6 grand, did this by jumping into the pond at Epcot.
You're gonna jump? I just said that.
do it. Okay, look, I've had my times at Epcot myself. Luckily, they weren't on camera.
Yes, you have, Matt.
Thank you, Mitch. But let's all be adults here and stop doing dumb stuff like this at the parks. Let it be a magical place where we all expect it to be, or hell, it'll just turn into this.
I'm afraid I'm gonna need a little more than that, sir. Okie dokie. How's this?
There you go.
There you go.
Let's not get to that point, and let's just have a good time doing it at Disney World. I'll see you there this weekend.
All right.
They all seem to be wearing matching T-shirts, those groups.
Makes
Have you
it
ever
easier.
noticed that? Yeah, it's always like a group of like whatever theme-dressed patrons.
They're the worst.
Yeah.
If you ask me. Fabian Marcano from Daily Flash Latino joins us now with Relationship Refresh. We're talking what about today?
We got open relationships.
Open! So you talk a lot and that sort of thing?
No, not exactly. These are the open relationships where you have a mutual, I guess, agreement with your partner to have open relationships with other people.
Because these always go so well.
I mean, well, the question here today is, are they sustainable or do they just lead to jealousy?
I'll go with the latter, yes.
You know what I mean? And I mean, there's news research that we found, it's basically saying that nowadays people may be just as happy or even more happy in these open relationships than even a monogamous. How do you guys feel about that?
I think every relationship is different by all means. And if a couple goes into it knowing that, hey, we're just going to do whatever we want, I think you're right. Eventually, jealousy is going to lead in. You never hear about old people that much having like these open relationships their entire
Unless you live in the
marriage.
villages.
Unless you, well, usually somebody dies and then that's what happens.
Exactly.
I mean, if you're going to do that, you wind up marrying that person. But even still, if you're going into a relationship saying that, I can't see it. Maybe if it's something you need to get out of your system or whatever, maybe that might be. But are you giving everything to the woman or the man that you love, or in some cases, all three? I mean, just how open are we talking here? If it's going to help the relationship.
Are we talking throuple or are we talking affair?
It's up to how many you want. Yeah. I mean, it's the agreement that you make with your partner. It's all got to be mutual, obviously. But
certainly.
Do you guys see this maybe happening more often in the future, possibly?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we're sort of getting to a point now where we understand that if you marry somebody and you're with them for 10, 20 years, things change and you might lose interest and it's a moment, right?
No, you're 100% right.
So you have to be okay with saying, all right, maybe you need to have your own time and maybe I need to have my own time, but we come back because the grass isn't always greener.
Yeah.
Once you leave that relationship, you end up in another one, and I guarantee you the same problems will sprout up again. So why don't you just make it work with the one you're with?
That's a good point. But
Yeah.
what if you create the relationship maybe for a while before you get into an open relationship? Maybe you open it up at some point.
And I'm glad you said that because my lead-in would be a lot of times when the kids are out of the house, you're in a different phase of your life, and you're like, well, this is the person I'm with from now on. So I mean, seriously, and that discussion should be a lot.
We need to remodel.
The values we need to start. The values that you had when you were first married are probably different at that time. Sometimes more conservative. Sometimes could be the other way and saying, I really wish I would have done this. Yeah. But if the other person says, well, listen, if you're fine with it, I'm fine with it, then we cannot complain to do that. All right, check out Fabian, of course, on Daily Flash Latino. Head to dailyflashlatino.com. Check your local listings and times. They're on LATV as well. Thank you.
This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everybody. I am Mitch English.
I'm Andrea Jackson. This is Daily Flash, your source for trending news and entertainment.
We love friends, and we love when we have new friends, and we love friends that become part of our family, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And we have got a new family member. It's WJAL. Washington, D.C. We want to welcome them to the Daily Flash family here as we continue to grow and grow and grow. So happy to be on there in Washington, D.C. And so, maybe we're not going to go more political because the politicians are watching.
We probably will go less political.
We'll go less political.
We'll stay as far away from that as possible.
All right. Okay, so when I say Seth Rogen, outside of acting, what is he known for? Outside of acting?
Smoking pot.
Smoking pot. What would you say, Maddie? The laugh, which is induced by what?
What, weed.
Weed.
Okay.
Everybody think
Yeah.
it's like Snoop Dogg and weed. It's Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
Well, he loves pot, but pottery. He's actually a big fan of pottery.
No way.
He makes his own and such. So much so that he's going to be EPing a new show on the CBC, the Canadian Broadcast Corporation, called The Great Canadian Pottery Throw. And it's going to be co-hosted with Jennifer Robinson. He's actually EPing it. And she's on Schitt's Creek. She played the wife of Chris Elliott on that. So it's interesting. Do you have any like hobbies that people would be surprised?
Well, I love my horses, so I do a lot of horseback riding and show jumping, but crossword puzzles.
Really? Are you?
Crossword puzzles, addicted, yeah.
All right, I'm going to file that away. Yeah. Maddie, do you have a strange hobby that people might be surprised?
Stupidly with my sneakers, I clean them.
Yeah, that's true.
Like methodically, I clean them out on the deck.
Yeah, you're a sneakerhead.
He Instagrams them when he gets a new pair. And I'm like, dear Lord.
You and my mom already have a discussion about my sneaker problem, okay?
This has got to stop, Matt. And then his mom.
How about you, Mitch?
Me, I'm a big video game player, but I only love one game, which is Red Dead Redemption. And I will play that game. I love that freaking that movie, that game, but I'm waiting for it to be a movie. And there was talks at some time. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but I love video games, and it was one way that I could kind of bond with my kids somewhat. You know.
And just the one game.
The one game. It's the only game I really enjoy. I've been trying to play Grand Theft Auto with Enzo, my 12-year-old, but he beats me too much. So I don't
you're like, okay.
No, he literally beats me.
Might be a little bit of a red flag.
Because,
and then steals your car.
Grand Theft Auto in real life. That's what we.
Interesting.
No, he's a great
There you go. Well, a family was charged a $50 fee on a restaurant bill for their children being too loud and obnoxious. The family from Florida was in Georgia visiting friends and were joined by 4 other families for a quick bite to eat. When the mom saw the eatery's adult surcharge warning on the menu, she thought it was just a joke. The large group enjoyed their meal, and Lindsay claimed all the kids, ranging in ages from 3 to 8 years old, were being so good. Look at these little angels.
With the slingshots.
Yes. Mitch and I's promo shot.
At one point, the restaurant owner came to the table and explained that there would be a $50 surcharge for the children being too loud and running around out of control. Now, the mom claims that they were fine, they didn't do anything, but of course, you know, the restaurant owner begs to differ.
Yeah, and I think maybe if that kind of policy, when they're sitting them down, they go, hey, look, we just want to let you know that there's a $50 charge. And that doesn't sound like it happened. They said it was just on the menu. I looked at the menu, it said charges over 18%, or 18% over 6 people. And obviously there were, what, over 10, 15, almost 20 people.
10 adults and a dozen kids.
So about 22 people.
Yeah.
And that, you know, we showed you the picture there. And it really makes you appreciate that somebody would do that, but also at the same time, if I had kids, I'd be like, well, I'm not going to go there.
Right.
But it would also entice me, as if somebody doesn't have the kids that age, to go there to have a little quiet.
And you mentioned it before, but we've talked about this. Some parents tend to have kind of a blind eye when it comes to their kids because they're so used to it, they tune it out. So what's obnoxious and rude to other people is just normal behavior to them.
And we totally get it. Yep. Totally get it. So go with that. All right, we got more Flash and more fun coming up. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Daily Flash.
Now entering its 2nd season, Daily Flash Latino. Designed for the American Latino audience, Daily Flash Latino hosts Jessica Reyes and Fabian Marcano deliver their fresh perspective on the latest entertainment news, celebrity gossip, fashion, health, and more in both English and Spanish, aka Spanglish. Daily Flash Latino builds, connects, and celebrates the diverse Hispanic audience. Daily Flash Latino, trending news and entertainment with a splash of Spanglish.
Hey, welcome back to Daily Flash. In today's Help My Home, we are going to focus on your countertops and what should not
be up there. And we're not talking about food. Like we're talking about no-nos.
Extras.
Oh, okay.
The no-nos.
I'm excited to hear
about this. So what sort of items do you have stored on your kitchen counter? Our friends at FamilyHandyman.com have a list of don'ts when it comes to what not to store on your countertop. Here we go. Number 1, rarely used appliances.
Makes sense.
In a recent survey, 60% of Americans cited clutter in the kitchen as a major source of stress. So if you only use a blender once a week, it needs to find space inside a cabinet, not on the countertop. Good rule of thumb, if you're not using it every day, it shouldn't be taking up space on the counter.
And can I tell you something about what I know about Jackson is that she loves her espresso makers. I'm like, she built it into the wall, and I'm like, that's the most ingenious thing ever. I love it.
So it's no longer on the counter.
It's not on the counter, but I imagine you use that a lot.
And then I put a drawer underneath it that has all the cups.
See, I love that idea.
So it's all
have you do my kitchen.
tucked away. I love it. Next on the list, paperwork. Stacks of paperwork come in as the second biggest stressor when it comes to kitchen clutter. Experts say keep the acronym OHIO in mind when dealing with junk mail or papers. Only handle it once. Ooh. And remember this, if magazines or color inserts get wet, the ink can bleed through and leave a permanent stain on your countertops.
Do not want that at all.
No. Canisters can be lovely to look at, but they belong in the pantry. That set of 4 is taking up valuable real estate front and center. If you really do use them to store coffee, tea, and sugar, find a spot inside a cabinet above the counter. Also knives, those knife blocks look fancy, but experts say you might want to keep them in a drawer or cabinet for safety reasons. Safety aside, they are bulky, plus they can collect dust and debris inside the slots and be very difficult to clean.
All right, thanks so much. According to a recent study from the Federal Reserve Bank, consumer debt is at an all-time high. Here's a consumer finance expert with Discover on how to spend smart this holiday season.
I want to share 3 tips today to stretch your dollar during the holiday season. Number 1, start by setting a holiday budget. Right? Don't think of holiday spend as an year-end activity, but think of it as an ongoing exercise where you are able to continue to set money aside and then, trying to manage your spend along the way. Number 2, evaluate how you are planning to pay for your holiday purchases. So using a debit card to pay for your everyday, non-discretionary expenses or holiday expenses may sometimes be just the better, smarter way to manage overspending, especially if you find yourself stressed about, existing credit card balances. And number 3, look for straightforward and meaningful benefits from your banks that can put you in control of your finances. So as an example, Discover offers a cashback debit product that can make it really easy for you to manage your money by offering some very specific holiday-related, perks. Your customers can earn cashback rewards on everyday debit purchases as well as holiday purchases, very unique, right? So typically you don't associate a rewards program with a debit card. So certainly this is something that customers can take advantage of. It's also a product that's completely free, so customers don't have to worry about getting hit with a fee. So I would say for more such tricks and tips on holiday spending and saving, you can visit discover.com/modern money.
If you are in the market for an SUV, our auto expert says there's one way ahead of the pack right now. Take a look.
Motor Trend's SUV of the Year.
We are proud to announce that Motor Trend's 2024 SUV of the Year award goes to the Chevrolet Blazer EV. It stood out from the competition thanks in part to its stunning looks, generous cabin space, avant-garde technology, and powertrain choices. Chevrolet has truly nailed the design and functionality with the Blazer EV.
For all the latest information on Motor Trend's SUV of the Year, the Chevy Blazer EV, go to motortrend.com.
Welcome back to Daily Flash. I'm Andrea Jackson along with Mitch English. As we get closer to Black Friday in a few weeks, many people and companies are trying to push for a Green November, a time when we can think about the environment and challenge all the new items you'll get on the biggest shopping day of the year, not to mention all the packaging that comes along with it. We here at Daily Flash wanted to pass along a few easy-to-do things that will help you do your part in helping Mother Nature. First, walk, cycle, use public transport instead of driving. A recent study found that running a fossil fuel-powered car is the most CO2 emitting thing we can do as individuals. Or how about bringing your own reusable bag when you shop? Not only does it emit a lot of carbon to produce and transport, but they also hang around in the environment for way too long. Investing in a reusable bag or reusing carrier bags you already have is a small change that adds up to making a very big difference. These are just a few easy things you can do.
Good ideas. Thank you there, Jackson. Well, believe it or not, holiday entertaining season is here, and we've got a delicious new take from lifestyle expert Marilee Kern. Hey, Marilee.
Hey there, yes, those seeking fresh ideas for holiday menus should consider Latitude 45 Smoked Salmon. It's America's #1 selling smoked salmon brand and the only one going from fresh to smoked within 24 hours of leaving the water. It's a nutritious choice, rich in omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin B12, and essential nutrients. Plus, its light, mild taste is an instant crowd pleaser. Quick to serve and ready to eat right out of the package, you can whip up most smoked salmon recipes in under 10 minutes, making it handy for entertaining. Use it in a range of dishes, from wraps and soups to pasta and charcuterie boards. And for a tasty twist, try their new smoked salmon candy bites. Committed to sustainability, Latitude 45 is kosher, best aquaculture practice 4-star certified, and part of the Global Sustainable Seafood Initiative. Find it at your local Walmart, Meijer, BJ's, or Winn-Dixie stores, and learn more at theluxlist.com.
Millions of people are gearing up for cold and flu season. Joining us with advice on how to stay healthy during the winter months is ER Dr. Daria Long. Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
With temperatures and the leaves falling, we're also seeing our rates of cold and flu-like illnesses start to rise. And so it's not necessarily a matter of if we'll get a cold or flu-like illness, but when. So I always tell my patients to get prepared ahead of time. Stock up on the things that you're going to need so that you don't have to go to the pharmacy when you're just feeling miserable. One of those things for me is Mucinex 12 Hour, because I often get a cough, and I find that my patients do as well when they get that cold and flu. Mucinex 12 Hour has 2 medications specifically for your cough: guaifenesin, which helps to thin your mucus so you can cough that junk out, and dextromethorphan, which is a cough suppressant, totally targeted for your cough symptoms. It's also 12 hours, so it lasts a full 12 hours, 3 times longer than most combination cough and cold medications. Of course, always use as directed, and see your doctor if your symptoms don't go away or are getting more severe. Go to mucinex.com for more information.
More trending news and entertainment heading your way, but first we got to check in with our friends at The Daily Buzz right here on Daily Flash.
A Forbes health study finds 34% of Americans want to lose weight in 2024, but be wary of the trendy new miracle weight loss drugs no matter how many celebs you see slimming down.
They're not without their risks. So you want to keep in mind that you need a physician, a family physician on your team to help you understand if the medication is even indicated for you. It might not be something that you need to lose weight. You also have to know there are some side effects to the medication, and it's based on you as an individual.
If you want to prioritize health, here's the game plan.
Go in to your doctor and see what your baseline is. Talk about your family history. Find out if there's any maintenance things that you need. For women, your pap smears and mammograms, or even your colon cancer screenings, or the vaccines for that season. And also see how you're doing, because mental health is a part of this. Stress can manifest physically.
Get more tips at familydoctor.org.
After a busy and perhaps expensive holiday season, the new year is a great time to reflect and reset, especially when it comes to your money habits. Matt Gramada, head of family banking at Chase, suggests using this new beginning as an opportunity to educate kids about finances.
Great place to start is through your bank. For example, Chase First Banking is a great teaching tool for kids ages 6 and older. It comes with its own debit card for kids and full parental control. For older kids, Chase offers high school and college checking accounts. Both help teens and young adults understand money basics and are great stepping stones to larger conversations about the financial independence we all hope for in our kids. And all of these can be managed through your Chase mobile app.
Learn more about the resources Chase offers for your kids at chase.com/studentbanking.
Follow The Daily Buzz on social media.
The future is revealed in Las Vegas at the largest tech trade show in the world, the Consumer Electronics Show, or CES. Joining us today is tech expert Albert Lawrence, the creator of Get Your Gadgets, which is streaming on Amazon right now, and he's showing us one of the most amazing exhibits at CES. Good morning, Albert.
Good morning to you. How are you today?
Albert, why is CES so important?
Well, the cool thing about CES is this is really where you get a first look at technology that's going to help to shape the future. So if you're a fan of tech, if you're a fan of the future, this is the spot for you. I am standing right now, though, in a magical place. This is SK Wonderland exhibit. This is basically, it's an amusement park that's powered by AI technology, also powered by renewable energy, and it all comes together in this very easy to understand and fun to play with space. The goal of SK Group is to inspire optimism that's bringing to life an interactive experience that really does show how real-world tech, from AI to green energy, can be applied to create a better, brighter future. And it's all happening right in front of our eyes here.
What are some of the new technologies at CES?
So one of the cool things about the new technology here is that it's very practical and tangible, as you can walk throughout here. So, for example, there is a train right here, and I rode this train, and the train is capable of being powered by hydrogen energy. The only emission is water, and you can visualize a future that's powered by the latest tech supporting artificial intelligence. But my actual favorite thing right here is something called the Magic Carpet Ride. Now, this Magic Carpet Ride is amazing. It's a vehicle that's powered by AI-based semiconductors that can help the vehicle to fly safer and to get to its destination even faster and manage power usage even better. But there's also a dancing car, Matt. Now, this dancing car is fully electric and able to recharge in 20 minutes or less, and it's all happening right here. But one more thing that I want to tell you about at this space is there's even an AI fortune teller. I had my fortune taken by this AI fortune teller, and this one is powered by high bandwidth memory tech, all right? So SK's memory tech provides this high-performing power-saving solution. And for even more wild and great information about what's going on here, Matt, you can visit sk.com.
And we'll have this entire segment on our website at dailyflashshow.com.
Everybody's streaming for the weekend. We like to give you our streaming for the weekend picks. This is where we tell you something you got to check out on your streaming services. First up, we'll start with you, Matt. What you got?
Yeah, my pick this week is Season 5 of looking into the lives of some of the most talented drivers in the world with Formula One Drive to Survive.
In Formula One, you need to be able to adapt. When you need to be aggressive, you need to be aggressive. When you need to be smooth, you need to be smooth. And when I'm in the car, I will never give up.
Max Verstappen, how are you feeling about being in the chair?
It's quite comfortable, so.
Formula One drivers are some of the most extreme athletes in the world, and it looks directly at driver Max Verstappen's historic run, and it's on Netflix right now. And he won 50 races, and he's going up for his 5th championship. It's insane. He's one of the best drivers that's ever graced the track.
We'll learn more about the sport, maybe not know so much about. Love that. All right, it's got it all. Drugs, money, the lifestyle, but is it legal? This Netflix movie has that, plus Chris Evans and Emily Blunt. It's Pain Hustlers.
Dr. Bond, cast the first stone, if you will. But this is my story. And I did it for the right reasons.
After losing her job, Emily Blunt plays a woman who's struggling to raise her daughter, takes a job out of desperation at a failing pharmaceutical startup, but what she doesn't anticipate are the dangerous racketeering charges. Pretty good. I like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
It's fast-paced, a little funny, too.
Yeah, and speaker program. I learned something
Yeah,
about
a speaker
that,
program, right. You'll
interesting.
find out.
My pick for this week is a sports documentary on Netflix, It Ain't Over, about baseball legend Yogi Berra.
One of the greatest World Series resumes of any player ever.
Hey, he got it done. He was a winner because he had all the rings to prove it.
He's the figure that was larger than life.
There's no Jackie without the acceptance of Yogi Berra.
When Yogi comes to the team, they say he doesn't look like a Yankee.
He wasn't 6'3" with blonde hair. Everything about him was kind of funny.
I learned so much about Yogi Berra. What an incredible talent and an even better man. I mean, there were some ugly cry moments, especially at the very end. And Derek Jeter says something about there are ghosts at Yankee Stadium. It was a wonderful moment talking about a specific experience.
Neat. And I need to talk to his granddaughter, too.
Yes.
And he didn't really get the recognition when these others that you see. All right, that does it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you when we look at you. Y'all be good and good at it. Bye-bye.